4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
That's it. That's it. Hello, welcome to Spiderweb Salon in Pride Denton, everybody. We are here from headquarters over here and all over the country, honestly. And we're very excited for you to be here with us this evening. Our performances will start at 7:30, as close to on the dot as we can. In the meantime, we're going to give you some information about our organizations and some of the cool things that are going on. So I want to start this off by handing over the digital microphone to Kathleen Hobson, who's a part of the Pride Denton. And oh my God, they're amazing, Kat. Oh, Kathleen, take it.
Hi everyone, my name is Kathleen. I use they them pronouns and I am a part of Pride Denton, and I also am the director of the Pride Alliance at UNT. Wanted to share a little bit about the events that we have happening this month for Pride. This morning was our first official event. We did the Pride Path chalking, and luckily the rain dried up by about 10. So we had lots of folks out doing the chalk, and then we also were selling our Pride pint glasses at Oak Street Draft House. And that was, I mean, people were still there when we left at around 4, so they may still be there. So this evening is our second event here with Spiderweb Salon, and then we have 2 more events that are going to be happening this month. So next Thursday evening, June 17th, we're going to be doing our Disability Pride panel, which is going to be on Zoom. And if you want to register to get the Zoom link, we have our Zoom link and our calendar up on all of our social media for Pride Denton. And that'll be starting at 7 p.m. And we're going to be doing that in partnership with the Disability Inclusion Society here in Denton. So we're going to have a moderator from each of our groups and then a panel of folks who are going to be talking about what it means for them as queer disabled folks. And then our last event is going to be June 25th. It's going to be a partnership with Outreach Denton, and the event is called Outreach for the Stars. We are helping to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Outreach Denton, which is super exciting. It's another organization here in Denton that does events for our queer and trans community. We will be doing an open mic that will start at 7 p.m. at Harvest House. And then after that, Anjelica, remind me of the name of the band. I just forgot.
No Good Babies.
No Good Babies. Thank you. Thank you. We'll have that band playing, and then after that, we'll have DJ Ursa Minor on from I think about 9 to 11, and we'll wrap up at 11 at Harvest House. So we unfortunately can't do our big street party and dance party, but we wanted to do some smaller scale in-person things so that we can still have some face-to-face interaction with folks. We just were kind of wrapping up our t-shirt sales with Pan Ector. They were supposed to close yesterday, but the link had not closed yet earlier today. So if you haven't ordered t-shirts, you might be able to catch them for the rest of the day today. And if not, we will have a second sale that will open in a couple of weeks. So keep an eye out for the t-shirt stuff. And Anjelica or Enedelia, did I leave anything out? Other things that I should mention? No?
Not, I think you got everything that's on the official calendar. But if folks don't mind, if I take a minute to talk about the rally we're gonna have on Tuesday. So I don't mind doing that. Okay, cool. I will talk about the rally a little bit. Hi, everybody. I am Anjelica Fraga. My pronouns are they, them, or she, her, and I'm a coordinator with Pride Denton and one of the co-chairs of Outreach Denton. If you live in the city of Denton, City Council will be hosting the annual Pride Proclamation at City Hall on Tuesday the 15th. We're a little bit ready to turn up though for the non-discrimination ordinance that we have been advocating for in the city for the last few years. So we've decided to take this opportunity to host a rally at City Hall, starting probably around 7:15, 7:30. Outreach Denton did post a flyer about it last night. So you can go to our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at outreachdenton.com or at Outreach Denton. And we would love for you to join us. Bring your pride flags and get ready and just enthusiastic about advocating for this non-discrimination ordinance, which we know that Council Member McGuire has requested a work session for. So there is momentum on it, and we just really need to show our elected officials that we're here and we are queer and we won't be ruled by fear. So thanks everybody for listening.
Thank you so much, Pride Denton and Anjelica. Do y'all have anything else you want to share about for this month? Thank you so much for putting together such incredible programming for our community. It's really awesome to get to be a part of this every year. Spiderweb Salon has been doing this since, we could do it in person. And here's hoping that next year we will not be on the internet. I don't know if my heart can handle another Zoom meeting that is a show, but tonight is going to be beautiful. I'm so excited that everybody is here. I wanted to share the other thing that Spiderweb Salon did with Pride Denton this year, and that was we were a part of the Pride boxes, and we made a ton of beautiful zines by our artists and some of the Pride Denton folks. And there's a lot of crossover between our organizations, so we're all basically hanging out together all the time anyway. But Anjelica Fraga made some amazing art. Camion Connor had my gay agenda. This one was one of my favorites because we got climate justice, we got racial justice, we got reproductive justice, we've got all the things represented in this beautiful queer agenda, which I just love and relate to heavily. Ray Hudson made some amazing art. Rachel, I am wearing your glasses. I think they're your glasses. I will bring them to your house later if you're watching this. But also thank you for the amazing zines. These are by Rachel. And then the You Are Here, our support group, which you'll hear a little bit more about later, put together a zine that is based off of the poem that they write together. And I'll let them talk more about that here in a little bit. And then I made one too. That is like a really cute little, collage thing. So that was part of the project that we had. We had a day of making zines together. That was really lovely. We had lots of snacks and we made art, and like my heart has just missed that so much. Just being, pandemicked for so long, it's been really a nice change of pace for things. So we're really grateful to be a part of that again. That was really fun. We got to drop off boxes too, which was quite an adventure. Other things that Spiderweb Salon has going on that I just wanted to share with everybody is we are still going strong with our support group that I just mentioned. We meet every Tuesday and it's virtual, which means you don't have to leave your house, even if you're super sad and want to see people and talk to people and have feelings about things. So that's 6:30 every Tuesday night, and we are open to new people all the time. If you are an artist or organizer or somebody who just needs support in our community, we got you. So that's been a really beautiful thing that has continued to flourish even in the midst of the pandemic. Our book club has also been kicking ass. Follow the reader. If you are a book nerd, we want to read with you. This month we're doing Choose Your Own Adventure, and we're reading books about books. So that's been kind of cool. The other thing that Spiderweb Salon is doing right now is artist residencies. And we had our first one in April, which was also our first in-person event that we did. And we made a video with Frank Darko, and if Nina could be so kind as to cue that up, we're going to actually premiere that right now. It's like a short little thing about what we did at our artist residency with Lele LaShawn, aka The Love Revolution. It was an inspiring weekend of all of the things, and I'd love for you to see it now if it works. Nina says 1 second. So we're gonna, everybody dance, everybody dance, everybody dance. Yeah, yep, we're doing it. We're just killing some time here. It's gonna be great. It's worth it. If you're just tuning in, we're just dancing. We're just dancing. It's good. There we go.
Keep it simple. Keep it real. I feel my responsibility is to see as a human being how to love, setting my bubble buzz. How to love. I say love. Yes, we have to address that healing is a process. Yes, we have to address that healing is a process. I know that I am blessed today. I want to express the success of my love. I am able. Yes, we have to address that healing is a process. Yes, we have to address healing is a process. We have to be honest. We have to address. We have to be true. We have to know thyself. To know what to do. Yes, we have to address that healing is a process. Yes, we have to do. We have to heal is a process. What are you?
Hooray! Yay! Thank you so much for playing that, Nina. That was our, like I said, our last artist residency with Lele LaShawn. That was the Love Revolution. Lele is an incredible artist. Please go look up the Love Revolution. We also recorded an EP with her in the before times called LOVE. Definitely check that out. Our next artist residency, artist in residence is actually here with us tonight. Morgan, they, them up there or somewhere on your screen is going to be coming down from Connecticut and spending a few days here at the Spiderweb HQ. And we're gonna make some art together. And we actually are inviting everybody to join us for a community food share and open mic show the morning of June 19th. That is Juneteenth. Next weekend, if you would like to come join us in community and food and learning and talking, we are going to be doing that that morning, and I can get you more information if you want to email spiderwebsalon@gmail.com. And if you're our Patreon, you already know about all this because you are in the loop. That is how we are keeping people in the loop now, my friends. If you are a Patreon, thank you so much. If you are not and you have the means, we would love to keep you in the loop and also take just the tiniest amount of money from you every month so we can continue to run our programs. And let's see, what else do I have going on? I don't know. Y'all doing all right? Are we ready for this show to begin? I think I might be. We're good for it. Nina says we're good for it. Ray, how you feeling? This is Ray, our interpreter.
Oh,
who
good.
I am so happy is here with
Yay.
us. Thank you so much to our interpreter. Thank you so much to PRIDENTON for making this possible. And thank you so much to the performers who are here. I really appreciate everybody getting on the Zoom one more time to make a thing happen. I know it's been a long year of the Zoom, y'all, and we're rugged at this point with it, and I'm just really glad to be in community with everybody, no matter where we're at. And I love that this means that people near and far can join us. So thank you if you're in our audience. We love you a lot, and we're glad that you're here with us. And I think we're ready to get this show started. Can I get a cheer? Can I get an unmute and a cheer from the rest of the performers here?
Yeah.
Excellent. So I'm going to introduce our first performer for the evening, who you have already met if you've been hanging out with us here in our little pregame. Anjelica Fraga is going to be our first performer. They are a local poet and currently serve as the co-chair for Outreach Denton. They're a coordinator for PRIDENTON and a board member of the Denton Bail Fund, which I definitely want them to also tell you about, because I missed a cue on talking about that earlier. You can follow them on Instagram or Twitter at Anjelica28. That's Anjelica with 2 A's, I think. You can find the Bail Fund on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Denton Bail Fund, and Outreach Denton on the same platforms at Outreach Denton. On Sunday, June 13th, starting at 5 p.m., Lucky Lou's will be hosting the Pride on Fry, proceeds from which will be donated to Outreach Denton. And don't miss the collaboration with PRIDENTON for their 10th anniversary celebration at Harvest House on June 25th. I believe we talked a little bit about that earlier. We've got DJ Ursa Minor and No Good Babies on there, as well as an open mic. So if tonight inspires you, Anjelica wants to remind you that that is happening, and it's going to be awesome. And one thing that I asked all the performers tonight to include is something that they like about themselves, because I think it's important that we remember to give ourselves like a little bit of a pick-me-up every now and then. So Anjelica likes their sense of humor and really enjoys making people laugh and smile. And I cannot agree more. Anjelica is one of the funniest, wittiest, charmingest people I know. And I'm so glad that they're going to be sharing something new with us this evening, I hear. So if we could give a quiet snap, or if you're on our YouTube and you want to be cheering our performers on, we would love that. So let's hear it for Anjelica Fraga. Yay!
Woo!
Hello, internet. Thank you so much for having me tonight. The collaboration between Spiderweb Salon and PRIDENTON every year is always really meaningful to me, in particular because I feel very connected to both communities, and it feels really great to be able to see them come together to create such a beautiful experience. And although I am sad we can't always be in person, I do appreciate that we get to bring this type of community event to more people through the internet. So I am really thankful for all of y'all for being here tonight. Before I get into my presentation, I did want to uplift a call for support from the Denton Bail Fund. We have been contacted by a member of the community who is in need of bail support for their partner. They are queer Black folks, and one of them, the person who is currently incarcerated, currently has multiple brain tumors, and unfortunately the bail fund is not able to afford their bail. So we did put out a call for community support on all of our social media. I did mean, I believe give me just a second to remember the Cash App. Have it pulled.
I'll put it on the chat.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Nina's going to put that on the chat, but you can donate directly to the Cash App. A member of our team has been directly in contact with this person's partner. So we are committed to helping them raise funds for this person's bail. And as our post stated, we reject rainbow capitalism and urge our community to directly support queer and trans folks who are in need of support. So now that I have said that, I'm going to get into my presentation. Normally, if you have been following Spiderweb for a long time, you know that I typically perform poetry. I didn't have that in me for this particular show, but I have decided that I will be sharing with you all a presentation on TV characters that made me question my sexuality. I might be gay. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, this is me watching the shows. Let me share my screen real quick. Oh no, I can't screen share. Oh no.
I'll fix.
Okay. I meant to remind you, Nina. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. Give it a try now.
Okay, thank you.
Woo.
Alrighty, so I have a handy dandy presentation to share with you all. Whoop, I can't. Okay, whoops. All right, so I would like to present to you TV characters that made Anjelica, me, realize they were probably gay. I identify as queer or bisexual these days. So before I get into that, I do have a bit of a disclaimer. So sorry if my pop culture references make you feel some type of way about your age. I will say that I am 27 and I was born in 1993. And I've known for a long time that I am queer identifying. So I started questioning my sexuality pretty young. So a lot of these TV characters are cartoon characters. So first up, we have Azula from Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you are not familiar with Avatar: The Last Airbender, it was a TV show on Nickelodeon that was inspired by Japanese anime that created a pretty complex and beautiful world. Azula is the Fire Nation princess who, and if you're not aware, the Fire Nation took over, basically is trying to colonize the rest of the world that is created in Avatar: The Last Airbender. So Azula is a firebending prodigy. She is one of the main antagonists of the show that is introduced, I believe, in season 2. And she essentially is trying to help her father, the Fire Lord, kill the Avatar, who is the source of peace in the world between all of the different kingdoms and communities. So she's really scary, but I was in love with her. I thought she was beautiful. I thought she was really smart. I really enjoy a leader. So if you've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, there is an episode there in season 3. They are in the Fire Nation, and there's an episode called The Beach, where they go to the beach, and it's the first time you kind of see Azula interacting with other teenagers her age and trying to be just a normal teenager. I think she's about 14 or 15 in the show. and her bathing suit, I definitely thought about that in the shower a lot. Yeah, so definitely Azula was someone who made me think, I don't know about this. So yeah, next up we have Reggie Rocket from Rocket Power, who, if you have seen Rocket Power, you know that it is about a foursome of friends who do a lot of extreme sports. Reggie Rocket is the only girl member of Team Rocket. Her brother Otto Rocket is also on a part of Team Rocket. She was dope. She edited and published her own zine that was really popular among her peers. She kicked ass at tons of sports, which if you didn't know, as a kid, I was pretty sporty myself. So it was for me a very classic case of, do I want to be her or am I in love with her? I think it's a little bit of both. She also was really into uplifting the other girls around her, despite being the only lady member of Team Rocket. She started the Power Girl surfing tournament because she wanted to make sure that the world knew that girls could kick ass at surfing. So really great, really great. The next person, I don't know if this show, I had a hard time finding images for this, but it's Yvette from Smart Guy. Her full name is Tasha Yvette Henderson, but she goes by Yvette in the show. For the premise of Smart Guy, her 10-year-old brother is a whiz kid who got to go start high school as a 10-year-old. So he's in the school with her. And she also has her other brother there, who is, I think, a year or so younger. So she's the oldest of three. She is smart as fuck. She is really witty. She does not let these men boss her around. I just always thought she was like so beautiful. I always loved her style. I thought she was such a cool character, and Smart Guy was one of my favorite shows that played on Disney Channel growing up. She is also a feminist. There were a lot of moments where she talked about women's rights in the show, where she stood up for herself amongst all these men. So I really enjoyed her. And then let's see, who else was next? So next is, and this one probably the most prominent of my animated crushes, SHEGO from Kim Possible. And Kim Possible, she's a teenage cheerleader. And SHEGO was the main henchman for her Kim Possible's arch nemesis, Dr. Draken. And she also was a henchman for hire, and other villains in the show hired her, and her and Kim Possible would just kind of kick each other's butts all the time. So I would say she broke the glass ceiling for henchwomen. She is the goth girlfriend of my dreams. If you look at her, she's kind of gloomy, she's snarky, she's funny, and she just really enjoyed being evil, which I thought was cool. She comes from a family of superheroes. So I was just always really in love with her. I loved watching her and Kim Possible fight each other. There was one episode where she falls in love that I was not a fan of. I was like, oh my God, she's way too cool for this. But obviously she's got that dark flowing hair. She's got that, the frown. She's beautiful. I'm probably kind of a little bit still in love with her. Next, we have Benson and Stabler from Law and Order, SVU. Obviously, it is ACAB now. I don't even remember the last time I watched this show, but Mariska Hargitay definitely did it for me. Elliot Stabler definitely did it for me. I was never quite sure, like I definitely was one of those people who shipped them and thought that they should be together, but I was also very jealous and was not quite sure which one I was more jealous of. I honestly, still to this day, don't believe for 1 second that Olivia Benson is straight. And Elliot Stabler, he still has a great butt. I'm just saying, if you've never seen his butt looks great. He was in a Nickelodeon movie, I think shortly after leaving SVU. And he played like a gym coach or something. I don't remember the exact premise, but he was very hot, definitely full booty on display. It was amazing. But yeah, I definitely stayed up at night thinking about them. And I think my very last one is Paris Geller from Gilmore Girls. If you are not familiar with Gilmore Girls, Paris Geller, her character serves as kind of a foil for Rory Gilmore, who is the angel of the show. She's a book nerd. She's very sweet and meek. And Paris comes in season episode like 2, I think, and she just really is like just the energy. She's very intense. She has a very intense personality. She's a Leo. For people who follow astrology, I feel like that is a really good way to understand Paris's personality. But yeah, Paris Geller, I think she's beautiful, she's smart, she's intense, she's competitive, she's determined. She is everything you could ever want in a woman, and I definitely had a huge crush on her. And if you watch, Liza Wheel, who plays Paris Geller, also plays Bonnie on How to Get Away with Murder. And I thought this was going to be my chance to see her as a queer character. She was not a queer character in that show, but definitely was happy to get to see her have more screen time. And then when they did the Gilmore Girls revival, I was like, all right, now we're going to know. Paris Geller's going to be gay. And I was very heartbroken that, I mean, she was not explicitly gay. She is divorced from the character she was married to. I don't know. I'm still heartbroken that we did not get this queer representation of Paris Geller. I definitely believe that she is gay. I'm very in love with her still to this day. Whew. Okay. So last thing, this list is not comprehensive. These are just the ones that I remembered and that stood out and that I feel like I remembered their character enough to talk about tonight. Stop share.
Woo! There we go. Yay!
Yeah, thank you, Anjelica.
Yeah. Emojis. Let's get some emojis in the live chat as reacts for Anjelica's presentation. I learned a couple of things there. But there were some that overlapped with my generation. That SVU, man, I would love to see, as Matea said in the chat, Stabler and Benson as anarchists. That would be such a great show. All right, if y'all noticed in the chat, if y'all want to follow Anjelica on Twitter or Instagram, follow them at Anjelica A28. Follow Denton Bail Fund and Outreach Denton as well on Instagram and Twitter to support their work. All right, thank you all to everybody who's tuning in. Before we move on to our next performer, I wanted to introduce ourselves, Spiderweb Salon, the art collective here. We didn't quite do that at the beginning. We're just like, hey, everybody else. So I am Nina Chantanapuma, pronouns she, they. I'm helping technical stuff here. So thank you for bearing with us as we navigate this technical show. So what else about me? I have a corgi. This is Noodles.
Noodles.
Noodles usually has her rainbow thing on, but I didn't have time to do that. But here's Noodles' butt.
Yay!
All right, and then we've got Courtney Marie, who started the show off.
Hello.
The one and only. Courtney, did you want to say anything about yourself?
My name is Courtney Marie, they, them, and I am epically terrible at introducing myself or like a show, apparently. So, hooray! Thanks for doing that, Nina.
All right, moving along to our next performer is Enedelia Sauceda. Enedelia, she, her, is an activist, a mental health advocate, a queer person, and a proud daughter of a Mexican immigrant mother and Rio Grande Valley father. Oh, my dog is just walking around in the background. All right, Enedelia taught her that, mother taught her that accents are beautiful, that humor is a life vest, and that hard work looks like calloused hands and a strong heart. She is a psychologist by training and a pain in the ass by choice. She serves on the board for both Pride Denton and Outreach Denton. You can follow her on Instagram at The Irreverent Psychologist. I'll drop that link in the chat. What Enedelia likes about herself is that she is brave. All right, without further ado, we've got Enedelia.
That's me. Thanks for that. I get nervous with my own bio. I don't know how that happens. I decided to tell a story that I've actually told before. I used to give this speech for several years, and I haven't given this talk in about 7 years. But Pride Month to me is an opportunity to share something you're proud about. And while I often get a chance to really highlight my queer identity and be really proud about that, I think just even hearing my bio back made me think of like, I really am proud of my Latinidad. And I wanted to share the story about the first Latina PhD. I'm 17 years old and UNT wants to recruit me. At my old high school, back in the north side of Fort Worth, there wasn't a lot of high expectations for Latinas. A lot of gang activities in the 90s. The expectations for someone like me were very minimal. But alas, UNT found a way to get me to their campus for this campus experience thing for like recruitment of like Black and brown students. I was one of two from my high school who was able to go, or maybe even wanted to go, I have no idea. So this story takes place 20 years ago, so bear with me as I try to piece it all together. Part of this experience of the day on campus was, of course, like taking you to the dorms and letting you see the cafeteria and things like that. And one part was to have a sample lecture, because that's what you want to do to teenagers on a Saturday morning, right? So we're in this giant auditorium, and here comes the organizer and says to us, so we want to give you a sample lecture. We want you to treat this like a normal class, because this is what a college is going to be like. Right? So he says, we brought someone in for the anthropology department. And so we'd like to introduce you all to your guest lecturer for today, Dr. Ramona Perez. I'm gonna rewind it because I feel like it didn't give it, I didn't do it right. Dr. Ramona Perez. Y'all. The baddest Chicana walks out to the stage. And again, 20 years ago, but here's what my mind's eye remembers about this beautiful woman. White pantsuit, head to toe. hoop earrings, of course, hair in a bob, red, like from the bottle, red. A strut, like, I don't know, like she was floating. And this accent, the Chicano, like the real Chicano accent from California, the kind that bounce and that cadence like a lowrider. You know what I mean? It goes kind of up. Tú sabes que no? Always on the vowels. Now, up until this point, I was not very happy to be there. Arms are crossed. I got a mean mug face, baggy clothes, and I was trying to be cool, but in that moment, I was not. Dr. Perez owned that stage, strutted, and gave this beautiful PowerPoint presentation of just all the words I love to hear, of all the work she's doing in Mexico. And I realized I had never met someone or seen someone, Dr. Ramona Perez. That name. So I ended up at UNT. But unfortunately, I studied psychology and anthropology, but I did have a chance to work with her before she bounced away to California. We worked together on LULAC. I saw her in the Multicultural Center. And she always kind of had that same energy. And if you've met that kind of Chicana, you know what I'm talking about. And one thing she helped us with is scholarships. The one I ended up in was called the McNair program. And it was to help first generation low income minorities in their field to go off and get their PhDs. And just as I was getting started on that, Dr. Perez was gone. And I was off to my PhD program in Stillwater, Oklahoma. I went from Dr. Ramona Perez to Stillwater, Oklahoma. By the end of my first year, I wanted to quit. I was going to let everyone down, everyone in the McNair program, my family, because it all rests on you if you're the only one. The Stillwater was white and cis and Christian and rural and football. And I was Mexican and fat and closeted and atheist and annoyed. Luckily for me, UNT came calling again, and the director of the McNair program invited me back for the conference. It's something we did every year, and she invited me and told me to volunteer and said, hey, everyone wants to hear about how you're doing. I think all the students would love to know of how your PhD is going. They need to hear it. And I believed I was the worst person for them to hear it from, because I was miserable. But I agreed, and I came back to Texas, and it felt good to be with my people. And it only reminds you how much you're not with your people. Throughout the entire conference, everyone kept asking. They were so hyped. And again, if you are the only one, they just want to cheer you on and say, hey, say, girl, how is it? Look at you, Vaz, go and get your PhD. I told them I was miserable. I was only really there for the chicken at the banquet, but it was good to get the support. So I went to the banquet, had my chicken, on to me what I would consider a fancy table, because the iced tea was in a glass that clinked. Y'all, guess who was the keynote speaker at that conference? We'd like to welcome to the stage for the keynote, Dr. Ramona Perez. Hoops, hair, strut, accent. She went up on the stage and told us her whole story about her education and not belonging. People not understanding her passions, the way she talked, the way she wrote, and getting no support. She was up here doing that strut and doing that thing, and I was over there crying in my chicken, thinking I have to talk to her because there's no one who gets it. For those who don't, academic conferences, you know what happens after the keynote banquet. It all happens and all goes down at the hotel bar. I was only like 21 years old for like 8 months. And so even being at a bar was brand new to me. But I walked in the bar with the help of encouragement from my friends, and I see Dr. Perez there at this long table holding court on one end, and then everyone else just laughing and just like palm of her hand. And there's this one chair right next to her that keeps rotating scholars. I wasn't the only one who wanted to talk to her that night. It was like double Dutch. You had to like figure out how to get in. Just as I'd go, Pinche Rosa made it. It's my turn. I had my chance, swooped in and plopped down. This was my chance to tell her everything. The moment I first saw her, how I got into my PhD program, everything that I'm feeling there, worried I'm not gonna make it, because no one else understood. No matter how supportive, when you're the only one, there's no one else. So I opened my mouth. Oklahoma. And like a good tia, a good auntie, she reaches over and, Mija, it's gonna be okay. I have no idea actually what she said the rest of the night, but I didn't move the rest of the night. That chair was mine, and we shut down that hotel bar. At the end of the night, she said, if you need anything, you call me. Five years later, I got my PhD. And I ended up back at UNT as a psychologist. To be able to give what I wasn't given. To be closeted all through college and to be an openly queer clinician. To not have Latinas anywhere guiding me and to be the one to help guide. Two years after having my PhD, I got another phone call. Hi, this is Dr. Elrod from the McNair program. Hey, Nana, we're wondering, we're having our conference this year. Okay. Would you like to be our opening speaker? Me? I mean, don't you know I'm a fraud? I agreed because I'm a good friend. But I knew I was not going to talk about myself. But guess who I did tell them about? For the next few years, I gave this speech, the story I've been telling you all about Dr. Ramona Perez, the baddest bitch with a PhD. hoping they would never see that I was just faking it the whole time. I gave this speech because I wanted to tell her story about this woman who impacted me. But there was one part I kept omitting over the years. I looked out into this crowd of mostly Black and brown faces, folks in their early 20s, late teens, trying to figure out how to get to the next place they want to be. And I'm relating and I'm connecting. And the one part I won't share with them year after year is that I'm queer. Because what if all of the time that we're the ones who can relate and connect, and I share this one thing and I lose them? One year I was brave enough to just kind of weave it in a little and list it. I'm Mexican, I'm queer, I'm this and this and that. Maybe hoping they wouldn't notice. But they did. And this phenomenon happens after the speeches. I get off the stage and the conference kind of devolves into this networking social. And folks kind of start to come up to me and tell me pieces of like, oh, I grew up in that same neighborhood, or, oh my gosh, I'm worried about that happening too in my PhD program. Oh my gosh, where's Dr. Perez now? And there would be kids that say, I'm queer too. They were brown and they said, I'm gay too. They didn't run away. And the last year I did it, I saw 3 Latinas, like shoulder to shoulder, like they didn't want to approach me alone, slowly approach. Through the crowd, they kind of made their way in. And you could tell like the more confident, sassy one of the trio says, it's our turn in the chair. What do you mean? We're all standing. What chair? It's our turn in the chair. Like in your speech. Oh, you're saying my line. Well, then that makes you me, and then that makes me. It was actually a little overwhelming thinking that things had kind of come full circle. That those 3 were looking at me the way I looked at her. And then I kind of got a little existential. Then where is Dr. Perez in the scenario? It was a little too much. I needed to sit down. I need a chair. And as I thought about this piece today, thinking back on this time in my life that I gave this speech until that feeling of being false went away. And thinking about where Dr. Perez is now. She didn't go anywhere. It's not a circle. I hear all the time to be a good ancestor or draw upon your ancestors. And I don't want to wait until I or someone else is dead for us to draw strength. Be a good elder. I don't have too many elders that I can turn to who are like me. Dr. Perez is one. And I looked her up just to see where she was today, so I can tell you all where she is today. And I found a picture of her. She's still in California, teaching anthropology, teaching about the Oaxacan people, And her hair, still in that bob, but it's all white. And y'all, I can't wait. Thank you.
Woo!
Thank you so much, Enedelia. That was beautiful, and not a dry eye out here. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How's everybody doing? How's the team? How's Team Zoom up in here? It's quiet. Is it because we're all crying?
I'm processing.
Is it? I know, it's a lot.
We're all emotional, okay? Give me a second.
And Azelia, you're my elder. I look up to you so much. And this was really heartwarming to get to hear you talk about.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We're gonna keep it emotional, I think, here for a little while as we're gonna bring in our support group next as represented by Morgan Lionheart and Elise Matthews, two of the angels who facilitate Spiderweb Salon support group that meets every single week. We have met every single week since last March, I believe. And that's a long time to keep a thing up, and we're really proud of it. And it's a place where any of y'all out there listening are welcome to join us and have some feelings together and just get support from your community. So I'll let them share a little bit more about what that's about. And the poem that they're going to share tonight is our quarterly poem that they write together, and it's going to be beautiful. I'll probably cry again. It's cool. It's cool. That's what the sunglasses are for. So everybody, let's give your virtual clickety clacks for Elise and Morgan representing You Are Here.
Hi, y'all. So the poem we're going to read has been written by everyone who has been to You Are Here. A little bit about us, as Courtney Marie said, we meet weekly every Tuesday evening. And if you're interested in joining, if you need some mental health support, you can just send us an email at Spiderweb, YAH spiderweb@gmail.com. And we can get you on the reminder list, and so that you can get into our meeting every week. But one of the things we do, other than supporting each other, is we close every meeting by writing a poem together. We each write just one line, something that really stood out to us in the meeting or that meant a lot to us, and we save all of those poems anonymously because it's an anonymous safe space, but we save the lines of poetry in a large document, and then it's been about quarterly every season. We have gone in and looked through all of the lines from the last few months and kind of put them together. Usually Morgan comes in and creates this really incredible poem, and a couple of us have helped to edit and also work on it. I've worked on this one. Claire, one of our other facilitators, also worked on this one. But it was written by everybody who has been in You Are Here. So this is this collaborative poem is kind of the most fun that we have with all of this. But you're all welcome. Anybody who's watching this is definitely welcome to attend a meeting. We would love to have you. We talk about all kinds of stuff. I mean, if you are a depressed, anxious, etc. creative person, welcome home. That's what we're here for. If you want to yell about capitalism, we do that a lot. So whatever you're dealing with, we would love to have you, and we would love to talk about that and support you. You just need people to love on you. I am the resident Scorpio mom, and I will yell at you about how wonderful you are. So if that's the energy you want, then we've got that. Morgan, did you want to share anything?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to add that it's a collaborative process, and Elise also comes in here and does magic. And this poem, Courtney Marie also lent their hand as well to create this wonderful art that also they created the zine about, which is great too. I just want to briefly shout out my residency, which is coming up here next week. And I would love to see all of you. I would love to make art with you. I would love to, yeah, Courtney Marie over there waving the flag. I would love to make art with you. And on Juneteenth, there's a lot of stuff going on at HQ. Including a art raffle that has a lot of really good stuff in it, and we are also benefiting Denton Bell Fund and House of Rebirth in Dallas. So please come out and see me and make art with me. If not that, then give money to these awesome community members who deserve our support. So with that, let's read some fucking poetry.
Let's do that.
Ooh. So I'm going to pull up a poem, and there we are. A dream of peerdom oft revisit. You are here and you are welcome. We're holding space for you. We're all together in this chaos. Sharing the weight of living with others is necessary. Hugs are essential. Mutual love and support overflow. Total bombardment of the heart and soul. Our love is not mild. We don't know what to do with so much joy. We hope you get to see yourself as we do. You are an angel.
Can you sanitize your soul? It's okay to feel awkward, to not know what to do with your body, to not know who you are in a vaccinated world. It's okay to not be okay. How can you take care of yourself in this moment? Maybe you need to actually rest. It's okay to take things slow, to get what you need, to go at your own pace, to live a year with dignity, one step at a time.
Don't be an asshole to yourself. You deserve good things. Make space for joy. You're doing the thing, and I'm proud of you. It's brave to be vulnerable. You can trust your feelings. If you feel it, it's a big deal. Relief can be exhausting. Life is hard. Resilience makes it easier to go on, but it's hard. And that's okay, because you're here. You are making a difference. You are worth so much more than you realize.
Accept help, accept help, accept help. Always accept offers of bulletproof vests. Boundaries protect the heart and soul when this world takes too much. Boundaries can be found or created, can be moved. Constant disadjustment. This is how you can love me in this moment. I don't owe anyone my energy. It's good to say yes less often. It's okay to go at my own pace. I know I represent myself with honor and dignity. I deserve people who both acknowledge and value me.
Burn it down. We want to be free.
Productivity is a lie.
Our value is not based on what we do.
Don't underestimate fighting for others and yourself.
It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel the anger underneath.
You take on a lot in fighting for a better world.
Make sure to take care of yourself too.
Be proud of yourself.
You shouldn't have to, but you're fixing what someone else broke.
Don't rob yourself of confidence.
If all you did this week was survive, then you did an incredible job.
Sometimes simply surviving is a success worthy of celebration.
You deserve more than what this life gives us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, you are here. Thank you so much, Elise and Morgan. You are angels on earth. I truly believe that. Our facilitators are the most amazing. And that poem was beautiful. I love that that is a collaborative effort between everybody who is a part of that whole support group over time. Like that, it's constantly evolving and it's so beautiful and I love it a lot. So thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks for having us. We love you.
We love you.
We
so
love you.
I cannot wait for till next week, Morgan.
Yeah. Yes.
Come and see me, y'all. I'm gonna be in the DFW after being gone for a year. Get my ass to the south. That's where I want to be. I'm so excited.
Saturday.
Make art with me.
Saturday morning, everybody. If you are watching this, you are invited. If you don't know where it is, email spiderwebsalon@gmail.com. We will loop you in. All right.
If you want to come to a meeting, it's every Tuesday at 6:30 in the evening. So send us an email. I'm the one who monitors the email. So if you want an invite, just let me know and I will make sure to get you on that list.
Yep. Thank you
It's
so
all
much.
virtual, by the way. Maybe at some point we might have in-person stuff, but it's all virtual right now. So you don't have to go anywhere. You can just be sad in your house. Just please bring your pets. We do love seeing your pets.
Yep. It's true. I do both. I'm sad in my house and I bring my pets all the time.
It's the best.
I love it. I appreciate y'all so much. Next up, I'm really excited to introduce our one performer of the evening this is their first time. Kay Iver is here. And I have a fun fact about our friendship is we met at a hotel party that Spiderweb threw at AWP a week before lockdown in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. So if that's not a wild ride for them being in my living room right now doing this show, I don't know what is. And let me introduce them. I'm going to just read your bio if that's not too embarrassing.
No.
Kay Iver is a non-binary poet born in Mississippi. They received their PhD in poetry at Florida State University, and their work has appeared or is forthcoming in Boston Review, Boat, Gulf Coast, Puerto del Sol, Salt Hill, and elsewhere. That is impressive. They are the 2021-22 Ronald Wallace Poetry Fellow for the University of Wisconsin Creative Writing Institute, which means that they get to go live in Wisconsin for a whole year, starting, I think, in August.
Mm-hmm.
August. And a little bird told me that they also got another fellowship in New Mexico next
for 3 months,
year.
but...
So that's exciting. We are among greatness, my friends. And Kay said that they love about themselves their devastating jawline, and I'm gonna switch places with them so you can get like a really good look and judge for yourself. So everybody, please give a warm welcome to Spiderweb first timer Kay.
Hello.
Yay.
Okay. Hi. Thanks for indulging my face euphoria. It's very recent. Okay. I'm just gonna read 3 little poems. The first 2 are kind of sad. Yeah. And then the last one's going to be kind of a celebration of the subject that is lost and also a celebration of us. So just right off the bat, the only thing I'll say is like the person I'm writing these about would have turned 40 in April and would have been with us celebrating Pride in some sort of way. If the world had been kinder to trans people when he died in 2007. So that's all we really need to know. And I'll just start. This is called Gospel for Missy during our 3-day birthday season. I rise on Easter to my 37th. Here, he is risen and resent his attention. Each morning, I peel the linen from my face without an angel's announcement. Somewhere, not far, you keep jumping from a mountain. Once you talked me from the same smooth edge. Now I eat olive and fish, stay active by hiking the foothills. On weekends, I float the femur's heaviness in a heavier sea. This, Missy, is not survival. When I ask the villagers why survive? They look out at their boats. Once you and I spoke our own gospel like mad messiahs. The neighbors kept whispering you were not a prince. We said that's the way of all heroes. In 3 days, on your 38th, I'll visit the valley of your bones. Tempt the Lord by reminding him these bones are very dry. When I say, Son of man, can these bones live? Your ankles will not be rattled, will not sprout cartilage, will not be blessed. Meanwhile, not far, a man keeps wandering from his tomb. Each night he gets a parade. I can hear their lutes from my bedroom. A song about who gets miracles. This is called Anti-Elegy. It's going to be out in Peach really soon, all online, and it looks like a river, so you'll be able to see online a really pretty river pretty soon. Anti-Elegy. If you were here, the Mississippi would still run south, would still drop its griefs into the Gulf where our friends would still swim in summer. Water would touch us like water. If you were here, the river that is your body would not move magically. While it emptied from the bladder's headwaters, from tear ducts and pores, public officials would still turn the fact of your body into arguments. You might have struck the impossible. Surgery, a new name, your own boat, and someone beautiful to name it after. Someone beautiful and their baby. From one dorm room landline to another, your wish list sounded like a fairy tale, like growing a merman's fin between classes. I thought we were playing pretend when you said, "Good night, Tinkerbell," and I said the boy's name you wanted secret. Even then, strangers spoke to a boy when speaking to you. That was 20 years ago. The list already a plan, already gliding an undercurrent sprung 20 years before that. If you were here, still drinking cold tea in a cold diner, men in state capitol conference rooms hours down the highway would still draft bathroom laws for adults. Your mother would still sneak taffeta and silk in your closet of fatigues and say she loved you. I wouldn't imagine your capillaries reassembling. If you were still dying like the rest of us, I wouldn't tell a young ghost how far we've come as if I believed how far we've come was enough. Wouldn't worry about who else gets more than 27 years. Your body wasn't a national average. You wanted more than safety. But I didn't wake sore in the jaw until I heard the numbers, until a nation, an entire nation, couldn't offer an alibi. Missy, my grief is problematic and righteous. It floods the last four walls holding you and begs for time. It hurls absurd reasons from a future, a handful of non-cis film stars humanizing a handful of non-cis characters, better doctors. My grief says it's helping, but argues only for me. The relief, the microsecond of relief when I achieve the unexpected and hope you find out. This means I forget you're gone. This makes my grief a loose dam. Still, I talk to water that unrivered your body for dirt. I float fantasies of dirt that holds us up longer. I say to the water, if you were here, you'd be here. Okay, just one more. This is called Short Film Starring My Beloved's Living Body. Open with the two-lane highway, the ice truck and the ice. Your elbow resting on the driver's side window. Zoom in on the toned forearm. The goldenrod rushing by. Missy, our audience can see you now. Show them the gas station delivery where a drunk lady screams about your good looks because there's no original way to say a man is beautiful, and the lady really did scream. Our audience will believe us, and they won't. People this lovely are only in films. No one with lips this pillowy needs to deliver ice. And here you are, lifting bags and saving up for a weekend in Memphis at the Motel 6. There's no time for dialogue about class or gender. No room to signal that your time with Goldenrod is limited. Your time awake is limited. Look how awake you are, how the facial bones move with perfect alignment under the dermis. Cut to the motel, leaving its light on for your red Bronco. Now the motel's dark interior. Now the bed nearest the window where you and a just out of high school date can finally make contact after years of parental imposed silence. I'm sorry. This film can't access your interior. Your date is the only one here directing her memory. Your date is me. My memory is the shower scene, already zoomed in on your face. Open your eyes again. Look directly at me. Hold the camera's gaze through the falling water as if this were our last frame. Missy, this is our last frame. Body is the only good word for body. I'm afraid of home's hunger for yours, but off camera, the interstate is waiting, and my lines are, let's go. Thank you all.
Yes, Kay.
Yes.
Hey, all right. Thank you, Kay. That was delightful. And we're so glad that you could join us and share your work with us. That's pretty great. Maybe we can meet IRL sometime, maybe at a residency. Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. All right. Next up, we have got, I wanted to do another shout out to Rhea, our ASL interpreter, because they are a badass. I do not know how they do what they do. All I know is that they must be amazing to do it. So thank you so much. All right. Next up, we've got Alle Mims. She. Alle Mims is a writer and performer who loves using satire and internet culture to create original characters for the digital age. They are a playwriting MFA candidate for Columbia University, an $11 billion school who is still charging students full tuition for Zoom school, no access to facilities, and limited work-study opportunities. Many students remain on tuition strike. Please support them and other local schools who are striking by sharing information, signing petitions, and attending events when possible. Some rallies are even virtual. You can find Alle talking smack on every platform online at Alle Mims. There's also going to be a GoFundMe link that I'll be posting in the chat that I'm sure Alle can tell you more about. One thing that Alle likes about themselves is their imagination. All right, let's give it up for Alle.
Thank you, Nina. Yes, there is a GoFundMe link in my Instagram bio, and I think that Nina is going to share it in the chat. It is a moving fund for my sibling. They're a Black trans artist who got an opportunity in Chicago, but unfortunately they were laid off this past year because of COVID, and so was I. And we're going to be road tripping over to Chicago. So the GoFundMe link is to help with the road tripping costs. So if you could hop over there and give anything you can, it would be much appreciated by them and by me. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, welcome to Yoga with Alle. I'm Alle, and today we're going to be doing yoga for scissoring. Now you might be asking yourself, what is scissoring? Is it real? And how can I incorporate it into my yoga practice? If these questions are keeping you up at night, this is the video for you. So we're going to start in a kneeling position. Go ahead and get comfortable. And we're going to take some deep breaths and set our intention for this practice today. And sometimes I like to speak my intention aloud when I exhale. So let's do that together now. So inhale. Exhale your intention. Kuchi. Inhale. Exhale. Kunani. And just continue those deep breaths. And we're going to talk a little bit about what is scissoring. It is a sex act that is usually associated with lesbians, but not all lesbians scissor, and not everyone who scissors is a lesbian. Scissoring is actually a type of tribadism or tribbing, which is the act of rubbing your sensitive parts over a partner's bodies. We're going to start with a little wrist health today. If you work at a computer or you're an artist or you finger your partner a lot, then your wrists and hands could probably use a little extra love. So we're going to give it to them now. Syndrome used to mean just one specific position of tribbing, but now it's more of a colloquial umbrella term, which really means rubbing together of bodies, usually vagina owners. If you're looking for a term that doesn't have that sort of gendered history, frottage is a gender neutral term for naked grinding. There you go. Okay, we're going to come into tabletop position. Before we start stretching, we want to warm up our back and our core because we want a full body experience in sex and in yoga. Okay, sex is more than just touching genitals, everybody. So we're going to do a little cat-cow. Actually didn't used to be associated with lesbians. It actually just referred to tribbids who were sexually deviant women who penetrated both men and women. So that term, some people argue that that term actually has more to do with a woman's gender than their sexuality because they were bringing in this masculine energy into the bedroom. So just something to think about for my non-binary babes out there. Now we're going to send the knees out wide, the big toes kiss, and send it back for extended child pose. And this pose is great before sex. It opens up your hips and your hamstrings really easily. And you can say a quick prayer to your partner that you're about to get busy with. You are a goddess in human form. Thank you, Lord, for this meal we are about to receive. Amen. We come back up and cross our legs and send it back seated. Send the legs out long. Bring this leg up, hug it, and we're going to do some gentle twists. A fun fact about tribbids. During the French Revolution, Marie Antoinette was actually portrayed as a tribbid on stage in plays, and they often showed her engaging in sexual acts between men, with men and women in order to show the excess and greed of the upper class. Even in the 18th century, they were calling bisexuals greedy. When will the biphobia stop? Okay, we're going to switch sides. Feminism also made its way into revolutionary political satire, where they often showed lesbians as the organizers of the resistance on stage, and they would organize against a common enemy with catchphrases like, "There's no hierarchy among sisters. Tribbids of the world unite." Okay, you're gonna send out the legs long, pull up a little, and roll back onto your back. You're gonna pick up this leg and make like a number 4. 4 is the number of orgasms you should be having a week. It's good for your health. Lift up your leg and interlace your fingers and give a gentle pull. Don't yank and crank, okay? Again, we want full body experience, okay? And just give a gentle pull. We're gonna switch. And don't forget to switch with your partners. There are a lot of advantages to being on top and on bottom when it comes to scissoring. And the only goal isn't to get clit to clit. That is a very, very small target. There is plenty of pleasure to be had from the back all the way to the front. So find what feels good, everybody. This feels good. Release. And now you're gonna need a strap for this one. Right. Your foot in here and send this other leg out long. And you want to try to bring your nose to your knee. Don't be afraid to bend your leg as much as you need to at this point, okay? We need to normalize bending your legs in sex and in yoga. The whole point of being more flexible in your hips and your hamstrings for scissoring is to make a bigger target for your partner to grind on or for you to grind on them. So if your leg is straight and you can only get it to here, but when it's bent, you can go all the way like this, well, then maybe you should be bending your leg a little more. I'm just saying. And now switch. For some people who may have said that they tried scissoring in that specific position and it's still a myth, Something to keep in mind is that if your vulva sits lower down on your body, the traditional scissoring position where you're both kind of laying down on the bed and scooching towards each other might work better. But if your vulva sits up higher, it might be better to be in the perpendicular position where the partner sits on top and straddles you. And there are a bunch of different positions to try. Don't forget to add lots of lube. You want to be slipping and sliding between their thighs. And there is nothing wrong with a little help whenever you need it, okay? Release it. And we're going to go right into Happy Baby. This pose is great to prep for scissoring and missionary, which is a good position if you and your partner have a combo high-low vulva situation going on. So you're going to grab your feet, your inside of your feet or your toes, whichever is comfortable, and relax into it. Don't forget to vocalize. I have never met a partner who does not like a little vocalization. We all like to hear that our partner is having a good time. Oh, that feels good. And we release. We're going to come into our last pose, reclined cobbler. Bring the soles of the feet together near the crotchety area and let gravity pull down your legs. And after all this, if you've tried all these tips and everything and you're enjoying it, but you never actually can get C to C contact or V to V contact, don't be afraid to add a hand, add a toy, meet your body where it is, whatever stage it's in right now, and just put a wand there to start. You and your partner will be happy, okay? And if you're having a good time, but you never quite get to that big O that a lot of us are searching for, don't worry about it. If you're enjoying it, that's all that matters. I do yoga. I can't do the splits. That doesn't make my practice any less valid than anyone else's, okay? Bring your legs to the outside, pull up and stretch them out long for corpse pose, or as I like to call it, 3 is enough. It's 2 a.m. Let's please go to bed pose, okay? And just lay back and take some deep breaths. And after all this, if you tried scissoring, trimming, all the positions, and it's still not for you, that's okay. It's just like any other sex act. Some people like it and some people don't. And if you don't like it, that doesn't make you any less queer, okay? Whenever you're ready, you're gonna roll over and pick yourself up and come back to a comfortable seated position. Something else to keep in mind is that if you are not fluid bonded with your partner before scissoring, you will be afterwards. So please practice safe sex, get tested regularly, and use a dental dam when necessary. Okay, that is all I have for you guys today. I hope that you enjoyed learning these stretches and a little bit about tribadism history. If you can, please hit that subscribe button and try out my 30 days of scissoring challenge. You will not regret it. Thank you for watching. I'm Allie, and this has been Yoga for Scissoring. See you next time, and happy trimming. Yay!
Oh, thank you, Allie, for that gift.
Thank you, Allie.
Oh.
That was
Other
so
people weren't doing it?
No.
Oh.
I hope everyone was following along at home at your own pace, of course.
I don't even know what to say. Classes left me speechless.
Say thank you, Nina. Say thank you.
I mean, thank you for the meal I may eat later. All right. So, once again, give it up for Allie in the chat. We've got her GoFundMe, their GoFundMe link, and also their Instagram and Twitter handle for more information.
Also,
All right.
Allie, people have some conjugation questions in
Oh,
the
yeah.
chat for you. So
Let's see. I lost my document. Okay, we've got one more performer. Last but not least, we've got James Jackson. Him. James Jackson is a writer, poet, performer, model, DJ, and Breakfast Boy. He's currently working on a variety of short stories that are entirely too personal. He doesn't know what the future holds, but he hopes it entails loads of iced coffee and public places where he can dance in mesh tops. Oh my God, his mesh tops are amazing. One thing he likes about himself is his inner strength and resilience, probably why his anthem is I'm Still Standing. Find him on Instagram and TikTok at The Breakfast Boy, or visit his website, transwriterrebel.wordpress.com. All right, give it up for our final performer, James Jackson.
Hey, hey, hey. Thank you, Nina. And thank you, Spiderweb Salon, PRIDENTON. All of you guys are amazing. Thank you for putting the show on. And I'm so honored that you asked me to even perform. So, and like Anjelica, I normally perform poetry, but this time around I was thinking, I'm not feeling it. So I wrote a story instead. And it's kind of a creative nonfiction kind of story. So we'll go with that. It's based on true life, but it's not entirely what exactly happened. So I hope you enjoy. It's called We're All Lego Pieces. Also, there is a fly buzzing around my apartment. So if I'm like doing this, that's why. Okay. We're supposed to be saying goodbye, but instead, Max lights up a cigarette in the parking lot of my apartment complex with its cratered asphalt and junk cars under tarp parked in the back. I have a complicated relationship with this parking lot. I hate it because it reminds me of strapping on roller skates as a lonely kid, since my 3 siblings never wanted to hang out with me. But I also love this parking lot because it reminds me of learning how to change the oil of my dad's old Chevy Lumina. I kick up a piece of the concrete with the toe of my Converse high tops, a piece of silver duct tape, the only thing keeping my shoes intact. Walking friends to their cars is the most awkward part of inviting them over to my place. The parking lot is at the end of the 2 rows of apartment buildings facing each other, and my one bed is in the first building by the entrance. The guilt that constantly has me in a chokehold orders me to walk them down when they leave. I'm pretty sure my friends don't care. We've been standing in silence ever since Max plucked a cigarette from his pack of American Spirits and painted his face in the glow of his lighter. Should I walk back to my building? Max isn't much of a talker. We've only hung out, just the 2 of us, 3 times before this, and never at my place until now. I shove my hands in the pockets of the jeans I wear when I want to look more masculine. Or rather, when I'm hanging out with a cis guy, but I don't want to date him. Baggy enough so he forgets I have a butt, probably would wear to a baseball game. I don't fully know I'm trans yet, or gay for that matter. No, at the time I was collecting evidence, Lego pieces that could click together to form a faraway structure, a fantasy me, maybe. I didn't believe anything would come from it. I'm still a little tipsy from the 6-pack of some stout he brought, and it's past midnight, so to fill the silence, I can only think to say, when you look in the mirror, do you recognize yourself? I lick my lips, my mouth suddenly dry, probably the beer. He doesn't say anything at first. Instead, he takes another long drag of his cigarette. He's very stoic like this. It's dark out. There's only one working overhead light, the beams barely reaching our spot over by his two-door Ford. The smoke plumes out between his lips like a scene from a film noir. Is this a philosophical question? He finally asks when he should just answer the question. I shrug, pretending that I don't care. I definitely care. Kind of. I scratch a spot on my head that doesn't itch, cross my arms, then change my mind and opt for putting them on my hips. I'm just curious. He nods in understanding, his eyes drifting away to look elsewhere. Why am I so nervous? Jesus. Yeah, I guess I recognize myself, he says, flicking some ash off the end of the cigarette. I mean, I look in the mirror and I know that's me. Do you think, wow, nice, I ask next, pantomiming Max in front of a mirror pointing finger guns at his reflection. Max laughs, his voice deep, his Adam's apple bobbing. I stare attentively and don't laugh. He says, sometimes, sure. I do this weird thing with my lips where I pucker them and shift them left to right to show that I'm thinking. I'm considering saying thank you and goodbye and walking the 3 minutes it takes to get back home. I'm considering that Max has proven to be a very good friend and he probably won't think I'm strange for asking such a random question. I'm considering that maybe I really am trans because I can't relate to his answer at all. I found that many of us trans people, a lot of moments have to stack up before we fully come out to ourselves. Sometimes it's that Lego structure, but with the foundation in need of repair and walls missing, but at least it's still headed somewhere. He can tell them going through something. He offers me his cigarette as though one pull will help me figure it all out. Shit, maybe it will work. I eventually wave my hand a little down by my hip, nonverbal for, I'm good. Why do you ask? He says, his tone genuinely curious. He knows I'm bisexual, that I share a lot about trans rights on Facebook, and that I once argued that Danny Phantom is canonically trans. That last one I said drunk while we played darts at a sports bar. I stop breathing, then promptly word vomit. Well, because I guess I don't recognize myself when I look in the mirror, and it scares me a little. I feel like I used to, but I don't anymore, and I've been doing a lot of research, but I'm still not sure what it means. In the silence following, I realize I'm trembling. His face is half obscured and eerie in the slim triangle of the street light. I look away toward the fence behind one row of buildings and watch a cat slink like a snake through the meager bushes parked back there. What if he doesn't want to talk about this anymore and totally brushes me aside? What if this is the last time we hang out? Finally, he says, "What do you see when you look in the mirror?" I wasn't expecting this question, so I have nothing written, edited, and prepared for speech. All I can think about are those deep fake videos on YouTube, specifically the one where someone put Steve Buscemi's face on Jennifer Lawrence's body while she did press after her Golden Globe win. Don't psychoanalyze this, okay? It's strictly one of those things that sticks in the brain and can't be shaken loose. I start laughing a little, a breathy laugh that sort of builds up until I'm snorting, and Max is chuckling his soft, deep laugh too. It doesn't snowball like in the movies when two people just start losing it and the earlier moments forgotten. No, instead, the rolling laughter decrescendos, and Max says, "Why are we laughing?" He's eyeing me closely. Sorry, something really weird popped into my head. He shakes his head, flicks a cigarette to the concrete, and stubs it out with one boot. I appreciate the fact that he doesn't ask for more details. Then I add, "You probably gotta go." Max doesn't move in for a hug like I thought he would. He says, "You okay? What's on your..." I hold up a hand, nonverbal for, "Let me just stop you there." Late nights, opening every online thread, asking internet strangers, "Am I trans?" Meeting a trans person in real life very briefly and digesting the fact that despite what the church led me to believe, they're not an abomination. Obsessively watching YouTube videos of trans men where they document their voices dropping, their facial hair sprouting from their chins, their top surgeries. I don't see me. I see a stranger. I see every little thing that's wrong. I see fake smiles. Even the eyes aren't right. I grab parts of my body and I want to pull them off. I mean, I make the same movements as that reflection. Intellectually, I know it's me. But that's not real me. Max's stare is unwavering. I swallow heavily. My mouth is bone dry. "Thanks for confiding in me," he says. I don't know what to say now. I've already said too much. I look down at my hands. I'm still trembling, but not as much. I let out a long, deep breath. It feels good to say it out loud, I say. My lips curl up into a smile. That was the night I found my Lego structure finally starting to get that foundation repair. Thank you.
Yeah, James.
Oh, yes, James. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. That was such a good note to wrap up this incredible showcase. I just want to say thank you again one more time to all of the performers. If you are tuned in, thank you for being here. If you're on the YouTube, throw up your favorite emojis for your favorite performers. We want to see them. We want to celebrate with you. Thank you, Nina, for being a technical badass and a great co-host. Love you so much. Thank you, Ray, for being awesome over there. We're going to make you sign about how great you are one more time. Thank you so much. And thank you to Pride Denton for just being the best and having great collaborations across the community and letting us be a part of those. We love y'all a lot and we support everything you do. So yeah, we're gonna call it a night, and thank you so much. I just wanted to remind everybody, next week on Saturday, we are doing an in-person outdoor event in the morning. Hit us up for more info or sign up for our Patreon and you'll get all of the information all the time. And don't forget to follow Pride Denton and check out the rest of the events they got going on. There's some cool stuff coming up and you don't want to miss it. Thank you so much. I think that's it. Nina, did I miss anything? Am I forgetting stuff?
No, you did not.
Want to add?
You good. No, I really appreciate. I loved watching the YouTube chat. Y'all have been great. Hope we can see each other in person. If not, we've got the internet.
That's true. There is always the internet. We love y'all. Thank you so much, everybody.
Have a good night.
Bye.